repeat. Let's send it. Here we go. Now we're going for head-to-head, our first battle. Ken Gucci in that Toyota GR Supra, Branden SORENSEN, VA-powered BMW, Ryan Tuerck, Jared Deanda here in the booth. Ken Gucci initiates past that point of no return, coming in review, getting all the way to that outside zone, now under the bridge, outside zone 2, now transitioning in that final outside zone. Ooh, Gucci goes hard at the wall, affect the attitude of the car. That might have thrown Branden off there. Quickly go down to that touch and go in that final inside clip. Branden seemed really timid. And I want to back it up because on that initiation, remember when those red lights extinguished, it's go time. Here we go. Send it. Branden SORENSEN, Ken Gucci. Branden SORENSEN, that Air Force BMW from Las Vegas, Nevada, 17 years young, initiates nice aggressive initiation, so maybe a little more confidence here. But Gucci needs to apply the pressure. He's going to need Branden SORENSEN to make a mistake. Branden, not the prettiest right now, not getting out there, but look at that. So again, Branden takes the shallower line, but you have to think that big mistake by Gucci. He needs Branden to mess up, and that's not going to happen here today. Branden SORENSEN will get the victory unofficially. We'll look at it again. The judge will set it for our first battle of top 16. As soon as the lights extinguish, they go toe-to-toe. Through the start chicane, as long as they don't hit a cone. There we go. We got a clean start. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck and Former Gym fans. Here we go. Ryan Tuerck initiates in that first outside zone. Pulls a little bit of hand brake in that first outside zone. Coming in view of the fans. Nice job. Gets all the way out there. Let's see how transitions. Doesn't go all the way deep. Neither is Branden SORENSEN. Now Ryan Tuerck in that third outside zone. Brings it on close. Branden, good proximity. Now through the touch and go into that final inside clip. Really well done by both the guys. A great way to start our top 16. Again, as we are seeing Branden SORENSEN now lead, Ryan Tuerck giving chase. Here comes Branden SORENSEN out front, a little slow trickle there out of the box, and let's see how they handle it. Branden SORENSEN a little swing right in front of that Toyota GR Corolla, now coming through into that outside zone. Branden gets out there. Now Ryan Tuerck, you see him taking a little bit of a line here, but how is he affected on front? So now Branden SORENSEN into that touch and go. Now coming into that first inside clip and the only inside clip. Little deep there for Tuerck. I want to take a look at that.
Two V8s, right, that we have coming up. And we'll see how they perform against one another right now.
Branden SORENSEN will lead. Jonathan Hurst giving chase. The Cash Racing AZ Rags BMW coming down into that first inside clip. Jonathan Hurst got a little too aggressive taking that inside line. He had to back off. Now that's not going to set him up. Now into that second outside zone. Branden SORENSEN, look at that. Just riding right the edge of the track. Unfortunately, Jonathan Hurst took that shallower line. It was kind of over before he started. He did gain some distance back. Pride of Paducah going against Las Vegas' own 18 years old Branden SORENSEN, United States Air Force BMW. Coming down middle line, wide swing there by Hurst into that front clip. Both of them put it on the front clip, nice and tidy. You can see Jonathan Hurst into that second outside zone. Branden SORENSEN right there. Oh boy. We have contact again. What's cracking here? You know, coming in just a few short years ago and a real talent, somebody to watch. Here we go. Chelsea DeNofa will lead. Now keep in mind, Chelsea, your number 2 qualifier, goes across the nose of that BMW, initiating into that first front clip. There goes DeNofa, Branden SORENSEN. He tucks in into that smoke of those Nitto tires, but he pulls away. Branden SORENSEN really lunging forward and does not get out to the outside zone 2, but he does allow, look at that proximity you see from Branden SORENSEN, but what, oh my goodness. Branden SORENSEN, the magician, absolutely disappeared and got closer to him. Not obviously as deep, but Chelsea didn't get exactly the deepest into outside zone 2. Here we go, Branden SORENSEN now out front. Aim high, Air Force high, into that inside clip. Oh man, that was interesting. I want to look at different angles of that initiation into that first outside zone, into outside zone 2. Branden has been absolutely killing that outside zone 2. And now exiting out of the horseshoe. There goes Chelsea in his safe place, transitioning right there next to Branden. Corvette into the wall in Long Beach. Here we go. This is the one more time battle between DeNofa and SORENSEN. DeNofa out front. Again, it was 2-1. Chris Yule and Brian Eggert siding for a one more time. And big angle there. Look at going for the backy. Woo! Nice job there by Chelsea DeNofa. Watch SORENSEN. So I think they tuned this thing up in between the battles. Into the front clip. Now exiting out those type-ass Mohawk lights. bringing it on down in the smoke bowl. Oh, what's going on with DeNofa? Shuts it down. Was there contact?
It looked like DeNofa over-rotated coming down the hill. He loves to. He's been in motorsports for many years, different disciplines. There we go. So, he might have the mental fortitude to get through this.
Branden SORENSEN out front, Chelsea DeNofa in the chase position. The United States Air Force BMW comes in hot in that first front clip, takes it out. Now coming up the hill, look at DeNofa. Oh man, he has nothing to lose right now. He's gonna let it all hang out. Look at him just bouncing around right there in the rearview mirror. Branden SORENSEN trying to rattle Branden SORENSEN, but the 18-year-old driver powers through. And whoa, Chelsea DeNofa. He'll tell you. So, FYI. Branden SORENSEN, Odie Bakchis, and here we go as Odie Bakchis qualified 7th, Branden SORENSEN qualified 15th. Odie leads. Nice job initiation by Odie. Coming up the hill. Look at Branden. So, quick little decel there. You saw that red. So, the attitude of the car. Just the Atlanta track, you just got to be fluid with it. Carry that momentum. We've talked about it from the beginning. Oh, and Branden goes on the inside. So kind of an early transition out of that touch and go. Branden and Odie are fairly equally matched drivers here. Let's see if Branden can continue on. Is Odie going to get in his way? Here comes Branden SORENSEN and Odie Bakchis. Look at there, Odie quickly getting to the side of him. Now past and up the hill. Look at that, Branden, little shimmy into that first outside zone and then drops into the second. Odie not getting all the way out there in that second. Now coming out of that horseshoe, good transition by SORENSEN. Big angle from SORENSEN, touch and go. Odie, woo, man. The way he got here through Eve Meyer, got into that incident, Alec Robbins, and then finally Jeff Jones most recently. And here we go. Odie Bakchis, our one more time battle. Odie Bakchis, Branden SORENSEN. Into that front clip. Now brings it on through. Oh, Branden SORENSEN taking a very shallow line. That's absolutely going to disrupt Branden SORENSEN. Odie Bakchis coming out of the horseshoe. That was a major mistake there by SORENSEN when he transitioned out of SORENSEN. Leading, Odie Bakchis giving chase. Branden SORENSEN, like you said, had that error. He's hoping that Odie Bakchis makes a mistake as well. But Branden SORENSEN, big, nasty initiation. That's what you were looking for. Look at Odie, like you said, to that touch and go. A lot of decel there. And SORENSEN filling all that second outside zone. Now coming down out of that horseshoe. Past the touch and go. SORENSEN and Bakchis. Woo! Give me some of that Spanish. Pass me a bottle, Mr. Jones. Jeff Jones talking about nitrous bottles. And we have a clear start. Looks like a little talked about the Scandinavian flick, and Jones goes high on the bank. Looks like Jones a little more settled. Branden SORENSEN, he works his way up there. Got that proximity now coming down into the first inside clip. There goes Jones past it. Branden, lacking angle, now crawling over that jump. Branden not hitting right in the middle, but definitely you can see him kind of going back and forth. Still keeps proximity. Jones, he's got the right line. What he's got here, and Ryan, as you said, you look at the forecast on any of your phones, and it looks like it hits and quits. So hopefully, again, we get dry conditions at some point here tonight. Branden SORENSEN initiates, and look at now they're alternating positions in more ways than one. Branden is high, and Jeff is struggling to get the height as Branden now comes down into the splash zone on that inside clip. See how they handle this second inside clip. Branden goes a little bit wide here. This is very difficult, and they're making it look easy. Branden lacking that angle, almost breaking out. Jeff applying the pressure. Drift weapons. Branden SORENSEN will lead a higher qualifying driver. Branden qualifying 12th over 21st of Joao Berrion. Branden SORENSEN, almost simultaneous initiation there by Branden and Joao in that second outside zone. Big angle there from Branden. Joao, look at Branden.
right on the edge of the track. And Joao tucks in, and Branden, I mean, absolutely a stellar run there. I mean, that's a right in between the two vehicles, and extinguish and go. Send it, boys. Joao Barrion, clean start. Look for Joao, getting that clean air. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we're seeing some flames. We're seeing some sparks. Out that back left, but quickly, oh no, oh boy, that's a lot of fire. And we've seen this before where the rubber actually starts to catch fire, but look at this, he's staying in it. Joao Barrion, it might have just extinguished as Branden Sorensen's there like, bro, you might want to check that out. Busy, everybody pretty busy here in the drifting world as Ryan Tuerck, make sure he doesn't hit a cone. Nope, we're good. Ryan Tuerck, Rain X, Nitto Tire shrouded, Toyota GR Corolla, Sorensen, in that chase position. Oh, body. Oh, my goodness. Holy banana cakes.
Oh, my goodness.
And here we go into this battle. Rome Charpentier across the nose of that BMW of Branden Sorensen into the second outside zone. Gives Modern's hell, that's what he said. That's exactly what he's doing, trying to do right now against Branden Sorensen. But Branden giving it right back into that E36, and across the finish line goes Rome. Branden not exactly getting all the way out into
as deep as Rome or better to win the lead-to-lead comparison.
All right, Branden, let's see what you got going against Rome Charpentier. Like I said, he's got the momentum coming from New Jersey. Branden puts it all in that outside zone 1. Big angle from Sorensen, and still gets it out to outside zone 2. Looks like Rome has to back off a little bit, compromises some proximity. Now finally into outside zone 4. Did Branden do what he needed to do? Rome Charpentier, Garagistic, BMW E36 against Branden Sorensen, that Air Force. Again, it says give Modern's hell. That's what Branden's looking at, the rear wing of Rome Charpentier, but he's saying, nah, not today, Junior. Well, I guess he's the junior. All right, Rome Charpentier in that second outside zone. Branden taking a shallower line, but does have that proximity into that third outside zone. Branden Sorensen now tucking in and still shallow into that final outside zone. So Rome, you know,
and I'm hoping that we can see a clearer victor here.
Don't leave in the judge's hands. Make it definitive. Branden Sorensen, who has received so much praise. Big angle from Sorensen. Now coming into that second outside zone. A great long angle there. And now coming into the third outside zone. You can see Branden, gets in that dirt a little bit, but where's Rome? Rome, he's got to come and play, but he does fill those zones. He's back quite a bit, but we'd like to see him be a little more aggressive in that chase. See how Jones does. Jones qualified 14th, Sorensen qualified 19th, so fairly equally matched. Jones out of the gate, big swing, and smoke machine turns on. Jones, big angle, Branden Sorensen. He needs to get involved. He is low and lacking angle as Jones now comes in that second outside zone. Jeff Jones, that Edelbrock supercharger, takes a wide line, but tightens it back up. That was a crazy good line there from Jones. That was interesting, just it had that wide swing his way, but he really, as you say, needs to step up here and put down a solid lead run, especially on this big bank. He's got the clean air, that United States Air Force BMW, and he's doing exactly what we had hoped. Ooh, some wavering there. Man, he was flirting with that wall, saying, hey, how you doing? And then, swings wide outside zone 2, and that's where that gets precarious, is that's hard to follow for Jones with him going 2 wheels off. Imagine if this is Atlanta, you go into the dirt or you go off course. The other frenemy there, just getting the victory over Rome. But here we go. The loudest car, I think, in Formula Drift. Jonathan Hurst, the pride of Paducah, that AZ Rags BMW, going against another BMW, the young buck, that is Branden Sorensen. Into that first outside zone. See how, look at that, Branden Sorensen narrowly almost hitting Jonathan Hurst. And now into that inside clip, you see him knocking it over. Now into that final outside zone. Let's see how Jonathan Hurst handles it. He gets into it, Branden Sorensen flirting with the edge, but Hurst right there on the edge of the course. Woo! Almost. Jonathan Hurst pacing him here. See what Branden Sorensen's got. right, here comes Sorensen out front. 98 miles an hour into that inside clip. You saw a little bit of correction there again. We saw that in his chase run, so maybe a little timid there going into that inside clip. Now, past the second inside clip, Jonathan Hurst, I think, has an opportunity to catch him here, maybe pacing him by design. But Branden SORENSEN, look at that. Oh, buddy. Bang, bang. Okay, we get into the door, so. Kearney. So let's, hopefully got it fixed. Branden SORENSEN, Kearney. Sorensen initiates, Dean initiates. You see, lacking the angle there. Branden putting it right on the wall. Dean doing a bit of an Irish jig in the back. Now past that inside clip into that second outside zone. Branden, great posture. You see the poise here, and Dean, he is just on the struggle bus, unfortunately, for Carnage. Look at Branden. Wow, again, number 3 qualifier, rightfully. Branden SORENSEN, let's see how we do, bud. Again, number 3 qualifier, put down a solid lead run. What's he gonna do with the chase? Woo! Gangster initiation there from Dean Kearney. He flicks it, that right to angle. Looks like Branden had to kind of back off a little bit. You know, Dean with some wavering. Branden SORENSen comes a little unwound here. Oh, and Dean Kearney. Carnage lives up to his name. So let's hopefully got it fixed. Branden SORENSEN, Kearney. Sorensen initiates, Dean initiates. You see, lacking the angle there. Branden putting it right on the wall. Dean doing a bit of an Irish jig in the back. Now past that inside clip into that second outside zone. Branden, great posture. You see the poise here, and Dean, he is just on the struggle bus, unfortunately, for Carnage. Look at Branden. Wow, again, number 3 qualifier, rightfully. Branden SORENSEN, let's see how we do, bud. Again, number 3 qualifier, put down a solid lead run. What's he gonna do with the chase? Woo! Gangster initiation there from Dean Kearney. He flicks it, that right to angle. Looks like Branden had to kind of back off a little bit. You know, Dean with some wavering. Branden SORENSen comes a little unwound here. Oh, and Dean Kearney. Carnage lives up to his name. Going for the kind of lower, grippier line. We'll find out. Ryan Tuerck, he saw the wet earlier. See what he's got. Branden SORENSen initiates. Ryan Tuerck right there. A little bit lower, but Branden SORENSen potentially dragging bumper. He says this is his favorite track, and it's proven to be his favorite right now, going against Ryan Tuerck, a veteran of the sport. Branden SORENSen, a massive angle, filling all that second outside zone. Branden SORENSen tight on that second inside clip and bringing it across the finish line. Ryan Tuerck qualifying 11th. Here we go, Ryan Tuerck, Rain-X, truck and SUV, Toyota GR Corolla, the Rockstar Pilot, race service, shout him out. Branden sheds that back bumper, and now it looks like Ryan Tuerck in alternating positions going over the top. And now past that inside clip, coming to that second outside zone. He says, hold my Rockstar, homeboy, let me show you something. He drags bumper. Ryan Tuerck, a little bit wide on that second inside clip, and that final, he pulled away from. He just saw what Sorensen is capable of, excuse me. And he's not even gonna give him an inch. A big swing, a preload into the bank. Oh, and Sorensen, it looks like the track bites back. He grips up, he works his way to the top. Big angle there from Sorensen. He gets that proximity to the wall, past that inside clip, now into that second outside zone. Sorensen had this locked and loaded on the first run. You can see him pouring more angle at it. Ryan Tuerck with good proximity, now to the outside zone. Branden SORENSen.